Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 6th of February, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets us towards the end of February. We will also have a look at the EC 46-day model as well. I haven't looked at that for a little while in an individual video, but I thought we'd include a few charts from the latest update in this 10 to 14 days. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and I shall talk you through that in a moment. Just to say that first, the video release today was our 6th UK weather forecast. We've also released a weekend forecast, and the first season 1 roundup for spring 2024 has been released as well. So check out all of today's videos and content, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And thank you so much to everybody for doing that. We need to put around 69 subscribers to get ourselves to 17.9k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that'd be absolutely incredible. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Well, let's start off with today's video then. I don't know, yeah, let's start off with today's video. We're going to begin with CT, central temperature is now sitting at 4.3, which is half a degree above 61 to 990 average. That's visual to yesterday, to 26th of January. So I think it's probably going to land in the 4s now. I think it's, I think you're struggling to get into the 5. So it's probably going to finish up maybe about 4.8, something like that, by the time we get through to month's end. But it will, of course, as ever, be very interesting to see where that finishes up. These are the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top, and the GFS, which you'll have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, is an area in the actual high pressure and low pressure being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to high pressure, well, yellow, orange, and red, high pressure, blue to low pressure. Now you can see in the 7 to 10 day time frame, we've got a deep trough of low pressure in again across much of northern and northeast Europe. That's going to bring a blast of much colder weather into northern parts of Europe. We do also have rather a blocking signal also. Hang on, let me just change colour. Whoops, there we go. So we do also have a bit of a blocking signal up here, more towards the Canadian side of Greenland. I think really the atmosphere wants to start bringing colder air from the north again, but the complicating factor is, of course, this area of high pressure across southern and southwestern Europe. We've got to get rid of those heights to get this cold air and the trough of low pressure southwards. But it's kind of pattern that might be setting up a colder incursion. This is how the GFS is looking in comparison. Again, we have that deep trough of low pressure across northern, northeastern parts of Europe. There is the blocking signal up towards Greenland, but more of a Canadian side Greenland as well. And we have these above average heights, high pressure through much of continental Europe. Again, we've got to get that high pressure over to there, or pull it out to there to allow this cold air to come in from the north. So in the 7 to 10 day time frame, we're not that far away from delivering colder weather into the second week of February, and that could be the trend as we're moving, through into the second week of February. These are the GFS upper air temperature precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Edinburgh today. So we're starting off above average with the upper air temperature at the moment. It'll be very mild in the north through the rest of the weekend. There'll be a drop in the upper air temperatures early next week. Then may lift back up again through next week. But as we go from the first week into the second week of February, this is the window where we might see something colder returning. You see the ensemble members down here, including the control and the operation room, at least for a while, due to quite cold. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. So, precipitation-wise, going to be dry weather for the next day or so, but turning more unsettled for Edinburgh as we get through to the end of the week and the beginning of next week. Quite a lot of precipitation spikes then. Just generally looking quite unsettled into February. Let's see how Snow Row is looking. So, yeah, we do see some snows, but there might actually be a bit of a snow event for some southern parts of Scotland on Monday, actually. Check out weekend forecast a little bit more about that, but there are some snow spikes there. And then more maybe turning up through the end of the first week and into the second week of February, though of course that is a long way off and is in the unreliable time frame. Temperature anomalies from the 27th of January to 4th of February above average for most parts of Europe, looking very mild away from Greece and Turkey. Although it is cold across Iceland, just maybe the first little hint of something a bit cooler starting to reappear around southern parts of Norway. Got to watch out for that. It could start turning cold again in Nordic and Scandinavian regions through into the into the first week of February anyway. Temperature anomalies from the 27th of January, 4th of February. They can be dry on average to England, Wales and Ireland, but wetter on average to Scotland and Northern England. A lot of that is going to be down to the rain on Monday, actually Sunday night and into Monday. Latest Windflow Map from earthnullschool.net shows that we've got high pressure sitting just to our south over Germany and into France, Low Countries as well, bringing up this southwesterly wind. It's very light wind in the southeast, so actually the temperature there is relatively cool. You know, it's mild, but it's cooler than it has been for a few days. But real mild weather for the next day or so is going to be up across Scotland to Northern Ireland. And then those milder temperatures will get down into the south by the time we get into Monday. Right, let's go through chart data then. This is how latest you can make your run. It's looking at big night on Tuesday. Low pressure over top of the country. That will bring heavy rain to central regions. And there could be a bit of snow on the northern edge of that. Again, that will be particularly through southern parts of Scotland. That all gets out of the way. And into Wednesday and Thursday, we go as flat as a pancake with high pressure around Spain, low pressure around Iceland. And we bring in this straightforwardly mild, very mild, maybe exceptionally mild west to southwesterly wind through to the end of the week. By next weekend, low pressure deepening in the Atlantic. It could bring us well wet and windy weather through next Saturday and possibly starting to something a bit colder from the North Atlantic into the northern half of the country. Icon again looking like this, so low pressure brings a wet day the central regions on Monday, Tuesday. And we go flat as pancake again with high pressure through France, Spain, Portugal, low pressure away to the northwest, dragging up this long fetched southwesterly wind. And most southwesterlies carry on all the way into next weekend as well. This gets us to midday next Saturday, 3rd of February. By then, wet weather into Scotland, but rest of the country mostly dry. And again, those southwesterly winds keeping things very mild. This is how the KMA is looking from South Korea. All much of a muchness for next week with high pressure over France, Spain, Portugal, low pressure towards Greece and Iceland, looking very mild, maybe exceptionally so. Might get temperature by Friday up to 16 degrees. Into next weekend, though, turns more unsettled and gradually starts turning colder as well as we move up towards day 10 with winds pushing into the north. And then this low pressure comes diving through around the 7th to the 8th of February. And that's on the northwest southeast alike. Now, on the northern edge of that, there's some very cold air, so that's the kind of thing that might start to deliver a snow event there across large portions of the country around the 7th to the 8th of February. Obviously, a very long way off, and almost certainly won't verify, but quite interesting how the KMA finishes up putting in those cold, maybe even very cold, northeasterly winds. What a change. Right, okay, well, this is a strange winter, this, isn't it? Very much a seesaw winter. Right, this is how the GFS midnight run is looking. So, again, we're as flat as a pancake through much of next week with high pressure south, low pressure to the north, and looking very mild with both southwesterly winds as well. Signs of a bit of a change into next weekend as colder air starts trying to dig southwards, but struggling to get into the south, staying relatively mild there as high pressure is maintained over France. But certainly northern regions turn colder for a while next weekend. And then low pressure comes back in and just brings lots of wet weather through to the beginning of the following week. We're at day 10 now, which is Tuesday the 6th of February. Now, as that low gets out of the way, then we do open the door to colder northerly. So this is Wednesday the 7th of February, just gone day 10. Then the door is opening to those cold northerly winds. So as we move into the second week of February, a much colder look to the weather. Upper air temperatures bringing the minus 10 Celsius Iceland back into Scotland. Some sort of feature there coming southwards in most northern winds. That might be polar low, leaving snow to the north, of course, much too far away for that kind of detail. But it is the idea, but it is looking much colder and much more wintry into the second week of February. High pressure ridging through country. That's a cold ridge, keeping these areas of low pressure from the Atlantic at bay as we get through to the end of the GFS midnight run, which gets us to Monday, the 12th of February. The GFS 6Z, in comparison, again, looking much of a muchness through the coming week with high pressure again down to south, low pressure to the north. Up come those mild, very mild, possibly even exceptionally mild west to southwesterly winds. Heading up towards day 10, again, we start to introduce some colder air from the north. Perhaps a little bit more strong with the blocking around Iceland and Greenland as well around day 10 as well. So that's a slightly better blocking feature really there that we have in the North Atlantic. So a cold northerly setting in as we get to and just beyond day 10. This is Wednesday, 7th of February. Upper air temperatures again, bringing my 10 cells iceberg southwards into Scotland. There's a trough of low pressure in the North Sea as well. That could deliver some snow into eastern parts of the country. Just really generally quite cold and wintry here as we go through the second week of February on the GFS 6. They're very cold across much of Europe, by the way, really plunged into the freezers. Some of that cold air just flirting, or very cold air, just flirting with eastern coastal regions. So it wouldn't take much to tap in. Just bits of cold air. And again, is sitting across northern parts of Europe there. We finish up with GFS 6 there, maybe hinting at something a little bit milder or less cold coming in from off the Atlantic, although still quite blocked really. And you won't be that surprised if we had another go putting in some northerly winds beyond the 12th of February there. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Make sure you show everyone board doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos. Don't get to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. As I say, around 69. Subscribers will get us to, I don't know, you will get us to 17.9k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, it would be incredible. Can we get to 18,000 subscribers before the end of this winter? Wouldn't that be epic? We might need one more cold blast, perhaps in the second week of February to pull it off. But it would be epic if we could get to 18k. Wow. Okay, GM, big show everybody. GM again with low pressure, bring a wet day from Monday into Tuesday, and then we go flat as a pancake through the rest of next week with high pressure around France, Spain, Portugal, low pressure towards Greenland, Iceland, and we draw up those very mild southwesterly winds into the weekend. Not much of a northerly incursion, just turns more unsettled actually around days 8, 9, 10. However, GM is trying to raise the heights a bit up towards Greenland, but it just goes through. But up to 6th of February, it could well stay mild. And then this is how the ECM is looking again. Getting rid of that low on Tuesday into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's all flat as a pancake. West-southwesterly winds drawing the air from the Azores. All of that stuff going on through the coming week into the weekend. Trying to bring something a bit colder down from the north, but actually that's mostly kept at bay by this area of low pressure, but maintaining generally mild weather up to day 10. However, by day 10, it looks as though this low is going in that direction. As that exits out of the way, we probably would start to open the door to northerly winds. So if we had a day 11 chart, which we don't, but if we did, we would probably see these cold upper air temperatures away to the northwest, plunging southwards just beyond day 10. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Temp.com. There's going to be a lot of heavy rain across central regions on Monday, so that could turn to snow on the northern edge. That will be particularly through southern parts of Scotland, and again particularly at elevation. All that wet weather gets out of the way by Tuesday, and then we're into a north-south split, really wet weather into the north and west, mostly dry down into the southern part of the country through the remainder of the coming week. Could be a very wet week for parts of Northern Ireland and western Scotland, maybe northwest England with this pattern that's setting up next week. And then towards the end of the ECM run, it starts turning more generally unsettled with rain even getting into southern parts of the country. Some of that wet weather heavy at times. That's the setup for day 10 with lots of rain across the country. These are the October table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 6th of February from the Icelandic Met Office. So we've got 19 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our northeast, high pressure pulling out to our northwest, looking poised to start bringing in some colder air from the north, and that does include the control and the operation run. 17 with low pressure again to the northeast, high pressure to the south, winds sort of coming in from a mild westerly direction with that. And then we got 15 with a mid-Atlantic ridge heading up towards Greenland and a trough of low to our east. That's trying to get wind into the north. So most of the options are flirting, I think, by day 10, with a chance of something a little bit colder beginning to arrive. And then in 2 week time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 11th of February. 21 members of the ECM ensembles again with low pressure to the east, high pressure over towards Canada, northwest southeast alignment to projection. So unsettled and probably quite chilly or cold with that. We've got 20 with low pressure again to our east, high pressures out to our west. That should be putting in a wind from a northerly direction. And then we've got 10 with low pressure more towards northern Scotland, and that keeps the wind perhaps slightly more from off the Atlantic. So that's again unsettled, but a rather milder scenario. It does look as though we might be inching our way to some colder weather here as we go towards the second week of February. Long way off though. CFS V2 finally reached a 500 millibar height. No, not 5, got the ECM to show you actually. So, sorry about that, everybody. I've got to include the ECM 46 day with this one. So, anyway, CFS V2 reached a 500 millibar height. Time to break down into week periods. The first week period takes you from 27th of January, 2nd of February. So, but next week looking very mild, high pressure to the south, low pressure away to the northwest, and we draw up those southwesterly winds. Week 2 is as flat as pancake. It's the 3rd to the 9th of February. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. In comes those mild, very mild, potentially westerly winds. Week 3 going to be the 10th to 16th February. High pressure just to our southwest. Not far away from turning very cold there. This trough of low pressure will bring very cold weather into much of northern Europe. We're on the periphery, albeit protected by this ridge of high pressure. And then week 4 looks like it does turn colder. This was 17th, 23rd of February. Takes long to get there with a CFS, but eventually high pressure pulls out to our west and northwest, and that should start turning the wind into a colder northeasterly. Right, that's CFS data then. Let's have a quick look at that. So these are mean sea pressure anomalies for the next 6 weeks. Week 1 is the 29th of January, 2nd of February. I haven't shown these for quite some time, so I thought we'd include it in day 10 to 14 day. So next week has high pressure across much of continent, low pressure to the north. That keeps things mild, potentially very mild. Right, week 2 is the going to be the 5th to the 12th of February. So then the high pressure begins to slip away to our west. Deep low digging in across northern Europe. That brings cold air into the north Europe. Some of that could start working its way into Western Europe as well. Week 3, look at this, 12th to the 19th of February. Blocking area of high pressure around Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure is to our east. That looks potentially cold with winds in from a north or a northeasterly direction. Week 4 is the 19th to the 26th of February. Still maintaining that blocking area of high pressure around Greenland, Iceland. Should keep the wind in from a cold north or northeasterly direction. Week 5 is the 26th February to the 4th of March. Yes, blocking is maintained again around Greenland and Iceland. We could be shaping up for a very cold second half of February into March here. And week 6 is before to be 11th of March. Then the blocking disappears. It all turns quite mysterious, so let's put in a question mark. And this is how the 500 millibar heights look from the Arctic and North Pole view down. Again, week 1 with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Everything looking rather mild and westerly for the 29th of January to 5th of February. But week 2, 5th to the 12th of February, starts to pull the heights out to our west. Low pressure digs in across northern Europe. That begins to turn the wind onto more of a northwest southeast trajectory. Week 3 is a proper northerly week, if this is correct, with a mid-Atlantic ridge heading up towards Greenland, trough of low pressure through Europe, and winds in from the north, if that's right, in week 3, which is the 12th to the 19th February. Week 4 also looking quite blocked and potentially cold, blocking area high pressure toward Greenland and Iceland should deliver the wind in from an east or northeast direction. This low just here in the Atlantic might start trying to come into that cold air as well. All sorts of fun and games could be possible if that happened. Right, so that's week 4. Week 5 is 26th of February, 4th of March. Again, blocking maintained around Greenland and Iceland, and some evidence that that trough of below average, so low pressure, is indeed trying to come in underneath the block. So as I say, there could be all sorts of fun and games if that was to happen. And then finally, week 6 is before to be 11th of March, and again, looking a lot more uncertain then. So once more, just put in the question mark. But the trends could be setting up for a cold, potentially very cold, second half to February, and possibly lasting into the beginning of March. How interesting. We shall see. It's all just for fun and speculation. Remember, any forecast on by some day comes big cowboys and large pictures sold attached. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our vids. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much, everybody, for doing that. And we're pushing on, hopefully, to 18k before the end of the winter. Epic, epic, epic. Right, I just said coming up on the channel tomorrow, 6 AM UK weather forecast. Got the third update for spring. That's delayed and rolled over from last Sunday. You remember last Sunday I had the weekend off last weekend, so I was a bit poorly. So the third spring update is a QBO special. That's coming up tomorrow. There might be a little bit of news about Fluffy as well. Ooh, Fluffy's fans, get ready. You might have a little bit of information. And if all of that wasn't up, going to be live at 6 PM. We'll live stream about 10 to 14 there. We'll probably do Ensembles Watch and include some long range. It'll be an epic, epic live stream. First live stream we've done for absolutely ages. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all at 6 PM tomorrow. But for today's videos, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.